Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into what has literally become one of the most terrifying modern urban legends out there. We're going to take a forensic, step-by-step look at a bizarre series of anomalies, dig through some heavily buried architectural history, and, get this, examine a chronological time loop that physics says just absolutely shouldn't be possible. We are relying entirely on the documented source material here. Security logs, audio recordings, and building blueprints to reconstruct a night that defies all logical explanation. So let's get into it.
Okay, so here's the big question. Where exactly does an elevator go when the top floor doesn't even exist? It's a massive paradox, right? And it all revolves around this one specific, chilling piece of security footage captured at exactly 2:13 a.m. in an old Chicago office tower. We're talking about a physical space that officially ends, yet the mechanical systems of this building somehow pushed right past those concrete limits into, well, somewhere else entirely.
If we break down the footage from that 2:13 a.m. timestamp, we see a man wearing a black hoodie walking into the lobby elevator all by himself. But he doesn't just, ride up to a normal office. He presses a button on the panel that absolutely does not exist in the physical carriage of that elevator. Suddenly, the digital display lights up with the number 12. He literally ascends to a 12th floor in a building that officially, like on every single public record, only has 11.
All right, moving into Section 1. Night shift anomalies.
Before we fully deconstruct this crazy vanishing act, we really need to set the scene, the baseline of normalcy for our guy Daniel. He was a private security guard working the night shift back in 2019. Now, Daniel was pretty used to things being a little weird. The building officially had 11 floors, but every single night around 2 a.m., the late shift workers would start calling down with these totally bizarre complaints. I'm talking documented reports of elevator doors just opening completely on their own, people hearing footsteps echoing down totally empty hallways, and honestly, the creepiest part? Office phones ringing from desks that were completely unplugged. Daniel usually just kind of laughed it off, right? He just figured they were the normal, creepy quirks of an old building settling at night. But then, on a rainy Thursday night, that whole baseline of normalcy completely shattered. Daniel decided to replay that 2:13 a.m. security feed of the hooded man, really trying to make sense of it. And when he watched it, the footage showed this man standing completely motionless during the entire ride up. No movement at all. You couldn't even see a face. Then the elevator doors opened, and bam, the camera feed is hit with exactly 4 seconds of pure static. Just 4 seconds. When the picture cleared up, the elevator was completely empty. The man was just gone. There was absolutely zero hallway camera footage of him leaving, no motion in the stairwells. It's like he literally vanished into thin air.
Which brings us to Section 2, the 1987 cover.
Now, Daniel was obsessed. He had to know how someone could just vanish without leaving through a monitored hallway or a fire stairwell. So he bypassed all standard protocols and started digging through the archived building records. And what he uncovered was huge. The official blueprints, they show an 11-floor, modern, perfectly safe building. But the hidden reality? The building originally actually had a 12th floor. Back in 1987, right in the middle of construction, this massive electrical fire broke out on that exact level, tragically killing several workers. After that disaster, the entire floor was structurally sealed off and totally erased from all official public records.
And here's why this massive cover-up is absolutely crucial to our 2019 timeline. There was this crazy rumor that had been floating around construction crews for literally decades. Former workers actually claimed that the burnt 12th floor still appears, like it physically manifests through the building's elevator system, specifically during really heavy thunderstorms. What most people, including Gango, had just totally written off as a creepy workplace myth was suddenly staring him right in the face as documented reality.
Let's dive into Section 3, Into the Dark.
Okay, so 3 nights after finding that footage of the hooded man, another massive thunderstorm rolls into Chicago. Suddenly, the lobby elevator, with nobody inside it, starts moving completely on its own. Daniel grabs his flashlight to investigate, and from here, we can basically track his fatal ascent step by step. Step 1. Right there in the lobby, the inside of the elevator suddenly smells overwhelmingly like burnt wires, a direct physical callback to that 1987 fire. Step 2. As the digital display ticks past floor 11, which, remember, is the physical limit of the building, the lights just start flickering wildly. And Step 3. The display hits 12, a ding echoes out, and the doors slowly open into total darkness. What Daniel sees next absolutely defies logic. It's like a space perfectly preserved from 1987. He's staring down this dark, completely unfinished hallway. The floor is just covered in these old, dusty construction tools. But guys, the most horrifying detail is at the far end of the hall. He sees people, standing completely still. They aren't moving at all, just watching him. Their skin looks severely burned, and their eyes are completely pitch black from the smoke damage. And then, the tension completely snaps. One of these motionless figures actually speaks. They whisper this exact chilling warning: "You weren't supposed to come back." And the very second those words hang in the air, the elevator doors suddenly and violently slam shut, right behind Daniel, trapping him in the darkness of a floor that physically shouldn't even exist.
Now for Section 4, the final recording.
So jump ahead to 4:41 a.m. Chicago police arrive on the scene after the building system sends out an internal automated distress call. And when we look at the timeline of events here, the pacing is just staggering. We go from decades of totally dormant history after the '87 fire right into these low-level anomalies in 2019. Then it just violently escalates over a single night. The hooded man vanishes at 2:13 a.m., and by 4:41 a.m., the police are walking into the lobby. They take the elevator up, and they find it just sitting there, wide open, on floor 11.
Inside that empty elevator on the 11th floor, the police found Daniel's heavy-duty flashlight. Now, the crazy part? It was still turned on, and more importantly, it was still recording audio. The log it captured is, honestly, deeply disturbing. You can hear heavy, panicked breathing, the terrifying, violent sound of metal aggressively scraping against metal, and finally, just this desperate, heartbreaking scream from Daniel.
The absolute climax of that recording is his harrowing final realization. Daniel screams, "There is a floor above us," right into the darkness. And that scream, it's followed immediately by absolute dead silence on the tape. Despite massive police searches and complete structural sweeps of the entire tower, Daniel was never found.
This brings us to our final section, Section 5, a chilling loop.
Now, this is where it gets incredibly mind-bending. Months later, a brand new security guard is sitting at that exact same desk reviewing the archived tape from the night Daniel first saw the hooded man. And the footage reveals an impossible paradox. Originally, Daniel watched the hooded man step into the elevator and vanish, right? But when the new guard watches the exact same 2:13 a.m. tape, the perspective is different. The elevator opens in the lobby. The hooded man steps out. And when they finally get a clear look at the identity of the hooded man, the literal phantom Daniel was investigating in the first place, he looks directly up at the security camera, and it is Daniel himself, just smiling.
So we are left staring down this deeply unsettling question. If Daniel was the hooded man all along, literally appearing on his own security monitors before he even went missing, it forces us to rethink absolutely everything we've just covered in this explainer. Was Daniel actually hunting a vengeful spirit from an old electrical fire, or was he just tragically fulfilling his own inescapable destiny? It's an absolute paradox that haunts the blueprints of that building to this very day. So, what do you think? Thank you for joining me, and personally, I highly recommend you just take the stairs next time it rains.